I'm Mr. Schmidt. I'm the assistant head of the junior school and currently teach upper three, which is year 6. I mean, we are a really big community at Mayville. I mean, everybody knows everyone. We've got time for each other, and any problem that anyone has is always sort of shared and dealt with. We like to make our learning fun. We support the children that we have with all of their, any different sort of need that they may have, whether it be emotionally, academically, and try and get the best out of them, and create a love for that learning. But also in a sort of safe space where they can trust and communicate with anybody confidently. Well, I think we know our pupils really well. We can celebrate all of their successes. They do such a wide and diverse curriculum. Throughout the week they'll do dance, they'll do MFL, they'll do sport, they'll do their core subjects, they'll do geography, history, they'll do enrichment. They'll do a whole variety of things which will allow us to see where each pupil shines and tailor their education to those needs. So if you have someone who is a keen sportsman, we can give them those opportunities to shine. Anyone who is, for example, an excellent reader, they can succeed in the literacy quiz and things like that. So what we're able to do is really, through our knowledge of the pupils and that sort of community feel, we know our pupils, we know what they're good at, and we can help them to thrive in those particular areas. So even when there are areas that they may find more challenging, we can find areas where they can succeed and feel fantastic. So yeah, in terms of the specialist subject teachers, each week the pupils get an opportunity to learn subjects like French, Spanish, where many of the senior teachers come down and teach them, and they're specialist teachers. We have dance, they have drama, they have specialist ICT teaching. So all of these subjects, they get that sort of real depth of learning from specialist teachers. It can be a variety of ages. So and currently they study French even as low down as the nursery. They get immersed in French song and dance, and then further up the school, often in lower three, they start Spanish lessons and even moves into things like Latin by the time they get to middle three and upper three. Yeah, it's true that sometimes parents may think that in the senior school it sort of matters a bit more, but we know that from the very age, very start of their education, learning matters to all pupils, and it can matter in a whole variety of different ways. It can be them celebrating their success, it can be them just enjoying it, it can be the relationships that they form with their friends in school, with their teachers and the adults around them. So we take great pride in making sure that from day one those children feel valued and it feels like their education is relevant to them and what they're learning about matters, but also that they get that enjoyment and love out of it, so that they want to ask questions, they want to steer the curriculum maybe in areas that into areas that they find fascinating, and we're allowed to do that here, which makes that love of learning evident throughout the junior school. Well, we offer a competitive curriculum where pupils are challenged and they progress in a very sort of structured and organised way, because obviously these pupils all leave at 16 and go out into the world, and they need to be able to compete with other pupils. So our curriculum, even though we're not tied to the national curriculum, we do endeavour to make sure that we are rigorous in covering the key elements of that they need for their education and adult life. But obviously in that we can leave bits out that are not as crucial. We can tailor it really to the individual pupils. There is a lot of the national curriculum that is really important. There are other bits that we can adapt and be flexible with at Mayville, and tailor to those pupils so that they get the education that is right for them, and that they can obviously spend time going into more depth in some of those subjects. In other subjects, they can take more time on those subjects, and not being tied to the national curriculum really helps us make a truly flexible and effective curriculum for all of our learners. So even though Mayville doesn't do standardised testing in Year 6, what we do offer is a rigorous curriculum where teachers are on top of pupils' attainment and progress throughout. We do not we find that the pupils don't get that extra stress that sometimes the Year 6 SATs can give them. It allows us to be much more flexible with our curriculum and find time for those individual elements such as music, drama, sport, dance, and all of those different subjects that pupils maybe find are a bit more limited in Year 6 when standardised testing is present. What that means as well is that we have to be extra vigilant and rigorous with our teacher assessment and making sure that our curriculum is constantly evolving and constantly aware of where our pupils are and what they need to do to reach their highest possible achievement and make excellent progress. The other benefit of not doing standardised testing in Year 6 is the pastoral benefits that this brings. We find a lot of pupils who come into us in the junior school do have concerns, or parents have concerns about what life would be like when they hit that age where they have to study for SATs, and their curriculum from January onwards at least is just constant SATs practice. So what this allows us is a real sort of positive effect on the pupil's mental health, as Year 6 still has all of the important Year 6 elements, and we're still very much tracking and monitoring how pupils are achieving and making progress, but it's in a much more flexible way that allows huge benefits for the children's mental health, as it takes away that anxiety and that worry and actually allows to put a bit of fun back in the Year 6 curriculum. So Mayville has always been an inclusive school and always will be. We have a great knowledge of the pupils. We have small class sizes. We have an amazing community feel and links between parents and teachers. It means that any concerns or anything that parents want to raise are always raised and dealt with quickly, meaning that we're always aware of where each pupil needs to be and how they are feeling. It then allows us obviously to adapt things and put things in place for those learning differences to allow for all pupils to make the best possible academic and pastoral progress. So really it is always an inclusive school, and it's those close links with our community, our family, our parents and our pupils that allow us to always know kind of where we are and where we need to go. We provide lots of different opportunities for more able children, whether it be providing opportunities to compete in regional and national competitions for subjects such as dance and drama. It's opportunities to succeed in sporting competitions and take part in regular sporting fixtures if they're an exceptional sportsman. We also provide lots of opportunities for areas such as maths and English and science, and take part in many national quizzes and competitions, which we've had a lot of success in the past. When pupils are making those transitions from one area of the school to the other, it's always common for them to feel a bit nervous, but actually I think in a school that goes all the way through, that anxiety is much less, and when it is present, it's reduced dramatically and very quickly, because the pupils get weekly opportunities to meet as a whole school, so they see all these teachers that will be part of them on their Mayville journey, and whilst they may not always be taught by them, they're always there in the background, and our small community feel really eases that transition as they know different pupils, they know different teachers, they know where some of the different classrooms are. So in terms of the pupils moving through the school, there was always that nervousness. That's a really normal part of transition, but actually it's much less in a school like ours, where actually everybody kind of knows everyone, and the teachers are always able to speak with other staff about individual pupils, making that transition far more comfortable and effective for them. In terms of pupils who are making a transition into the school, it's been, I think in some situations the parents would say it's been life-changing. The pupils have blossomed, have come out of their shell, and we've had pupils who have just absolutely flourished, and it's never an easy, quick journey, but it's always pretty much ended with positive results where pupils feel settled, they feel welcome and feel safe in an area to thrive. With the lockdown and obviously the changes that have happened over the past few months, that it has been hard at times, but I think in a positive way it's also opened up a whole host of possibilities, because the pupils have developed their ICT skills immensely. We've looked at new ways of delivering lessons, and I think these ways will definitely be here to stay in some form. Pupils have remotely learning. We've provided excellent opportunities currently for pupils to learn alongside the classroom. So if they're remote learning, they are able to do that whilst we are also learning on site. So no pupil is missing out. I think going forward, it's going to provide a whole range of opportunities to embed technology more in our lessons and make them more interactive and flexible, both on site and pupils at home. So with the new normal and of part of the school open and part of it closed, it has required a lot of change, and it's change that I think will inevitably give us new techniques and new strategies going forward. It's relied a huge amount on parental communication with their pupil's teacher. So there has been a lot of communication at home. There have been video calls, there have been phone calls, there have been personalised sort of learning experiences tailored for those pupils at home. It's really brought us closer together, that we've had to work hard to make sure that all pupils and all families feel included and supported, and that lockdown hasn't sort of caused problems with their pupils' learning, and actually they can look back on it and think that their child has continued to make progress, and most importantly, their child is happy and ready to return to school when that normal comes back. In terms of pupil engagement and parental satisfaction, it has seemed overwhelmingly positive. Yes, these things never happen flawlessly, and you're always working to improve yourselves and the way your sort of systems work. But overall, the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, that parents feel we've supported them, we've supported families, we've helped pupils keep relationships going, even though it's virtually at this point in time. And that then when they're ready to come back to school, we've been able to bring them back in successfully. And we've been able to create a structured learning approach in the classroom, but also support those still learning at home. I think in terms of what has continued for Mayville throughout this process, it would have to be that community feel and closeness. You know, there is very little that has been the same in terms of classroom practice, in that we've not been in a classroom recently until some of the year groups have been brought back. So whilst the classroom side has definitely been very, very different, the thing that's been constant throughout is that close community feel, the contact and the communication between staff, between pupils, between parents, and making sure that what has happened during lockdown doesn't cause any problems with our pupils' mental well-being, but also their academic capabilities and achievement. Yes, there may have been tough times, but actually that communication has meant that pupils have been able to carry on and get an education whilst in lockdown, and also stay happy. Thank you for your time, and hopefully see you at Mayville sometime soon.